you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We're going to call this meeting to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Zender.
Here.
Commissioner Henry.
Here.
Commissioner Jarvis. Here. Commissioner Miller.
Here.
Commissioner Snyder.
Here.
Commissioner Warren.
Here.
Chairman Hunt.
Here. It's nice to see the whole board back for a change, other than half us being sick most of the time. We always start our meeting with a prayer and a pledge of allegiance. Lenny, you want to lead us in the pledge this morning? Val, you want to lead us in prayer?
Okay. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to get together, all of us, to get together and consider the business of the county. We have a number of issues that are important to the residents, and we need your guidance and your direction, your wisdom. We ask your blessing upon our staff and their family, upon the citizens of the county. We ask your guidance and your help, your direction for the upcoming election, which will be in many ways very significant to our country and even to the world in many ways. We ask that it be peaceful sharing of collective wisdom on who can govern the best. We ask also that we prepare, importantly, for Thanksgiving to you for the many blessings that we have. Ask this in thy name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before the board, you'll see today's agenda. Are there any objections to this agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I might ask that we add one appointment. We have had a application submitted for Andy Inkster for EMAC.
Andy here.
If you call me.
Well, given our discussion last meeting,
Well, the discussion or a change in the rules. Which are
well, I think
set
that
up.
it was consensus on the board's part that if there was no request by a board member for the person to come personally, that we could do it without. And at least, I know this came about a week ago, and if there wasn't any request to me, I'm not aware that anyone came to administration for it.
I'm with Gary because we made a rule how we want to do that, and I'm okay with whatever's going on. But now you're saying we're making a special request. So is in the future that the board requests a person to come here? Is that what you're saying? It's not just automatic then?
My understanding of the last meeting where this was discussed and the consensus, the board members who were there, was that if there was any objection to just having it go through that process, where any board member wanted the person who was applying to actually appear before a decision, that they would contact me or chair or administration, Doreen, to indicate that they would like to have a personal appearance.
In recognition of the fact that the new board is coming on board very shortly, and they can make that part of their board policies, and they can change it however they want to meet their needs.
This will be through our tenure, you're right.
Right. You made the rule.
Well, that was consensus of the board last week,
I think we all know Andy anyway, but that's beside
and
the
that
point.
was the point.
Yeah, that was the point.
All right. We'll add that on. And then
Maybe 5C.
5C, is that where you want it? So I need a motion to accept this agenda.
So moved.
Support. All in favor, saying aye.
Aye.
All the same sign, motion carries. Consideration of the draft minutes for the October 13th, 2022, committee of the whole meeting.
I'll move them.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All same sign. Motion carries. Review of overnight travel requests, grant applications, and budget amendments. Distributed and reviewed throughout the meeting as. You got them, Brenda? Okay, they're being required. Down to department head updates. What we're gonna do this morning, department head and elected official updates. This was intended originally to be exactly just an update. It was not supposed to be a change, because if somebody really wanted to bring something for the board, they need to do it as an agenda item. So what we're gonna do this morning, we're gonna start actually doing this in 3-minute increments. So department head updates, well, I'll just let you know, we're gonna start doing that next week. But is any department head or up that would like to speak to an elected official, like to talk to the board this morning?
Yes, sir.
Well, you fight it out with Lauren, John.
Go ahead.
Oh, there's Andy.
Morning, Commissioners. I just wanted to take a few minutes and invite my friends and colleagues from Harmony Hall to come to the front. They wanted to talk with you briefly about their Thanksgiving dinner that's coming up. And just remind you that Harmony Hall uses this as a fundraiser. They take all the proceeds that they make from this dinner and they adopt a family through the Holiday Depot, and they provide a family with a wonderful Christmas.
Hey, I just have brought some friends. You all right if we hand some invitations out? Come on up. You guys want to approach my dais? So yeah, Harmony Hall, this is that time of the year again, where it's one of our big marquee events where we just get together and make a big community dinner and sell it to the community. And then all the proceeds, like Lauren said, go on to support a family for the Holiday Depot. So appreciate your guys' support, ongoing support for years. So thank you.
I did not forget it.
Guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great lunch.
Thank you, guys. I thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Happy Halloween.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Brian, can we come, is it the 15th, 16th, and 17th, 3 days?
It's a 3-day event. Any day you'd like, there's a number to call to get you on the list. Yeah. we're
Or we
gonna-
can have it all 3 days if we
Some
want.
people do.
So,
Some people do.
so explain that a little bit, so people know, is this something they're gonna order delivered to them? This
Yeah,
something
will
they pick up?
will get delivered to you. You just simply call the number. If you get delivered, if you want to eat in, of course, we'll do eat in. Or if you want to do a carry out, we'll do a carry out. But I think most of you guys, you do a delivery. Here at the courthouse, we do delivery. So, yeah, it's all included at the same price. Yeah, and again, we just want to be as busy as we can and also support some family and make Christmas special. So, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Elected official, department head updates. John?
Good morning. Just briefly, I had copied you all on an email that I had sent out. It's no secret that my contention with the budget as we go through this process is to have it live up to the promises that were made under the law enforcement millage. Those were promises that Sheriff and I went out throughout the community, throughout the county, spent the better part of our summer with that initiative and getting it passed by the voters. So in follow-up to the email that I had sent out earlier this week, I'm just looking for some guidance. It seems that we are at an impasse as to what I'm asking for with my budget. I've responded in many ways, tried to give as many different perspectives to that argument as I can. But it seems at this point in time, we're at somewhat of an impasse, and I'm at a loss as to how to move forward with that. So as I indicated, if what I'm asking for, which is what I talked about in the law enforcement millage and getting that passed, if that's not something that this board is willing to implement, then I would ask that it just be, my budget be passed as a temporary budget, and I'll put the issue in front of the incoming board in 2023. Thank you. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
No, John, I think it's appropriate for the public, if they hear that, just to know that your contention is the salary rate, that you don't agree with the wage study.
Correct.
It has nothing to do with hiring or practices or policies or otherwise. You just disagree with the wage study's salary for your office.
Correct. As it applies to the attorneys in the office, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other elected official, department heads like to give us an update this morning? Hearing seeing no one, I'll just close department head elected official updates. That brings us down to first public time. Who would like to speak to this board during the first public time this morning?
Good morning, Carol Lynn, Marathon Township. I know, well, I won't say no. There are a lot of things going on with the election right now. There are lawsuits that have been filed, and there are laws on the books that say we may hand count. I can send you the laws. I still believe that we need to do a hand count. There was a lawsuit filed in September by one of the people was a township clerk in Lapeer County, and they're asking for a decertification of 2020 because these machines were certified, so-called certified, but by a company that was not certified. And I'm just saying that I think Lapeer County needs to be on the right side of history, not the wrong side. And another thing, someone wrote this, and I thought it was quite concise as to why we need to vote differently for different people, for our governor and our Secretary of State and our Attorney General. And I'll get through the list as much as I can before Quentin shuts me down. They filled skate parks with sand, took down basketball nets at parks, or they stopped them with wood. They screwed wood on them so kids couldn't play basketball. Taped off playgrounds, forced children to sit in isolated circles, forced children to eat outside in the cold, put plastic around school desks, canceled school dances, graduations, and sporting events, closed churches, forced curfews, closed parks, closed beaches, shut down small businesses but kept big ones open, forced you to wear something on your face, had neighbors ratting out neighbors, called parents who objected at schools domestic terrorists, censored speech, stopped travel, banned, fired, and silenced health professionals and scientists that disagreed with them, arrested, fined, and jailed those who did not comply, wouldn't let loved ones see loved ones in the hospital, resulting in people dying all alone, forced people to inject themselves with something they didn't want or they'd lose their job, stopped people from gathering for funerals, banned singing, banned dancing, told you you cannot have people visit you at your home, told you to cancel Thanksgiving and Christmas. When my kids called me and said we might not be home for Thanksgiving, I said, you need to stop. I can protect myself. And we had Thanksgiving. Told you to cancel weddings and birthdays. They shamed you. They mocked you. They treated you as though you were a peasant while they gathered in their elitist restaurants. They lied over and over and over again to you. They took your freedom. They want you to forget all of this. Do not forget. Let your voice be heard. And we have to make sure elections are secure. Thank you.
Anybody else like to address this board during the first public time?
Hi, I'm Jerry Tkach from Oregon Township. I'm addressing the issue of internet service again. I know that there's a deadline of December 1st as far as challenging the fabrics or maps that they have of the service that they have. Since this is a period of transition between one commission board and the next one, I just want to make sure that we don't drop the ball on something like that. It's the week right after Thanksgiving, so we need to have all our ducks in a row before the Thanksgiving holiday as far as like challenging any type of maps. They should be available in the next week or so, according to the email that I saw from the Michigan Association of Counties, who's their legislative update. They also on that same email had like a suggested For more information, check out their, it was an app. It was like a FCC speed test, similar to the survey. I really like the app. It simple, you click on it, it gives you download speed, upload speed, other features I didn't even know about, like jitter, latency, that type of thing. It gives you an average, so if you use that, like it only takes a few seconds. If you hit it again, it will average out your score for the day, so you can see like your true level. The exception to that app though is if you're not getting service, like I was on a Zoom call and it was dropping at that point. So I then went to my iPad, tried the app, it said failed. So then later on, about 10, 15 minutes, when I was able to get back on, it showed that I was getting like a download speed of 30 megabytes, whatever it was, but it wasn't averaging the 0 with the 30 megabytes. You know, so that's the problem with some sort of survey like that. It doesn't record a miss. It's like during World War II when they were like looking at airplanes saying, well, what's shooting down our airplanes? And they saw the bullet holes in the wings and saying, well, we need to fortify the wings, when it was really the planes that didn't return with their engines being shot out. That was the area that needed to be fortified. So I'm just reminding you that December 1st is an important deadline. So let's make sure that we take care of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to address this board during the first public time? Hearing and seeing, I want to close the first public time. Lieutenant Inkster,
Yes, sir.
would you stand up, please?
Absolutely.
We actually, you know, we had this rule that if you're going to be put on a board, you just have to come before the board. We didn't see you this morning, but you're here now, so we just want to make sure everybody knows who you are.
I think by now everybody knows who I
I'm
am.
sure everybody knows who you are.
Since you're here, anything you want to say about
Even the
your
good guys
service on
know who you
EMAC?
are.
No, that's, it's actually fulfilling. So I've been at it for several years, as y'all know.
Yeah, he's been on it for a
I'll
long time.
continue to represent all of law enforcement for the county.
Even the good guys in the area know who you are, Andy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Probate Family Court request to adopt the revised court-appointed fees scheduled effective January 1st, 2023.
I'll move it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
I do have a couple of questions. Do we have any, do we have any, this is a 75% increase that but it's since 1988 since the fees went up. So it's about cost of living. How does it compare with other counties? Have we gone behind?
We have, and other counties are all over the board. Some are doing 80, some have been doing 65. Ours has been 60 since basically 88. I did mine in pretty comparable to what Indigent Council now is paying for some of their appearances for the adult system. And so that's where I really came up with a lot of my numbers.
Are we really comfortable with Indigent Council numbers?
We may not be, but I'm losing people on my court-appointed list. And a lot of it is because of amounts that we are paying. And in a child protection proceedings, I may need 6 attorneys, and when you have 13 on a list, you know, I need to be able to grab other attorneys to want to be on our court-appointed list. That's my primary issue. People are dropping off, and they're not coming to be put on it. And this is between probate, and we have 2 separate lists, probate and the child, family court, delinquency and child protection proceedings. Delinquency isn't such a big issue. It is really the child protection proceedings when I need minimally 4 attorneys at any given new case. So I need to figure out how to retain the people that I have and maybe draw others on. So we may not be totally comfortable with the indigent counsel rates, but I need to start somewhere.
But you need to start, you know,
At 100?
Yeah.
I think yes, I really do.
It's a nice round number, right?
It is a right, but something that I wanna share, we have not gone over, but in regards to my revenues, I am also capturing a lot of revenue to offset this. Like probate, we have captured almost $10,000 in probate. That typically doesn't happen. I do go back and try to recoup what I can. The only ones that I can are those for mental proceedings. But guardianships and other things, I recoup those dollars. In regards to child protection and delinquency, we budgeted collections for 40,000, I've collected 41. I am adamant that we do go back and try to recapture what we spend out. So I work hard at that, and the account clerk and I have met a week ago and how we're going to move forward to even try to increase that even more. So yes, I do believe we need to go to 100 to try to retain the attorneys that we have and maybe try to capture some others. Sorry.
Do they all have to be attorneys then
For,
for the GAL?
we do not, for developmentally disabled, yes. Yes, they do.
Right. But what about for the guardianship, for the family court, or probate court we used to use?
For the probate, what I have done is I have a caseworker internally that's doing a lot of that work. And that has saved a significant amount of money in regards to doing the guardian ad litem work up front.
So she doesn't, or he doesn't get anything in addition, that comes right in with their pay?
Yes, yep. And
But
we've been doing that for, probably 8 years.
there's no individuals or anybody, any organization that you found that would, could be a guardian ad litem for,
Not without a cost.
well, no, but
Yeah,
whether or
So-
not it would be.
I know, but it's,
It's a big jump.
it is 60 to 100, yeah.
A lot of things have changed since 1988.
And
These are,
And I am-
I don't even know 1988, so.
but
What
these
do you
well,
say,
that's
Brenda?
like a little slap in the face because I do, and I've had 12 years of employment since then. Sorry.
What do you remember, Brendan?
Go ahead. I was gonna say, these cases are pretty good revenue for those attorneys who are handling them in large numbers.
I don't really believe that it's a huge revenue for them realistically, because if they did our cases alone, they would be making nothing. They have to have all their side, because most of them probably, I didn't look up individual attorneys. If they get paid $8,000 right now a year from any of our court appointments, I'd say that would be about average.
Have you hired an attorney lately, Don?
Yeah, I mean, typically, they
Just
would
for-
love to have $275 an hour, and I
Just for a
won't
couple
go back.
questions, just for a couple questions.
Yeah.
Do
So-
Is there Howard Shipman bill every month?
Yeah, even lawyers that aren't Howard Shipman who are just getting out of law school are well above $100.
Well,
They're pushing 150, 175.
I don't,
Yeah.
I think you'd be hard pressed to get somebody to talk to for $150 an hour.
Yeah.
Howard's very reasonable, by the way.
Oh, I know, I'm just saying, in general, I mean, you know,
And if I can just retain the attorneys that I have on my list, I would feel fortunate, and that's my issue. I want to be able to retain
we
some
haven't
of our
raised it
attorneys.
since 1988. That's 34 years. It should be raised.
Should have gone up before.
Yeah, it
Just
should
the
have gone
question
up
is whether it
3
needs to
times
jump
by
that.
now. So,
I hear you, but I need to make it somewhat comparable and worth their time.
Well, I think Brendan already put a motion on the floor.
I'll support
And it's been supported.
Ryan supported.
There's a motion on the floor and it's been supported. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
All the same sign, motion carries.
Thank you,
How's that?
ladies and gentlemen. Very good.
Community Corrections request to approve the applicant's fingerprint transmission fee collection agreement with the Michigan State Police for the live scan fingerprint machine.
Ryan moved it and I supported it.
I have one question.
Sure.
So, the standard process of this standard form, but nowhere in here is a fee schedule. Can you tell us whether there were any changes to that or how that's impacted? Or this is just basically agreeing, saying, yeah, we're going to abide by the fees and we're gonna have this invoice, we're gonna pay this invoice, but it doesn't.
Correct. So what happened is the lady that had been doing the billing for MSP retired. New lady came in, Barb Self, and she's cleaning the house. The last time this was renewed, I couldn't find anywhere. I've been here 12 years, so I don't know when that fingerprint machine was purchased. That was probably the last time. There has been no change in the fee. It's $43.25. That's the FBI and the state. So every time we print somebody, like for school employment, whatever that may be, we charge our fee, and then the state charges us that $43.25. And that's how that works. That has not changed. This is just saying we'll
This
pay
is just the
it.
agreement, the fee has not changed. And we can assume that when the state does change their fee, and it's not a to that eventually, then you will reevaluate what ours needs to be and come back before the board.
Correct. It actually, the last time they changed it, it actually went down. The FBI actually lessened the amount they were charging, but of course, yes, if they do change that.
I'm moving forward. Sorry, been moving forward.
We have a motion and support.
Support.
All right, we have motion support. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All the same sign, motion carries. Thank you,
Thanks, sir.
Dave.
Thank you.
Administration Finance Department, Board of Commissioners, proposed staff stipend pursuant to motion 8722. For those that have not received Region 10 pass-through funding, referred from the October 20th full board with authority to act.
I'll move it.
All in favor of the motion, so say aye.
Do we have the dollar amount?
Yep,
in
dollar
that?
amount's in there.
Okay, all right, sorry.
Yep.
No motion is support, we just passed the motion, correct?
No.
I voted yes.
We have motion and support. All in favor of the motion, so say aye.
Aye.
All the same sign, motion carries. Request to adopt the revised Board of Commissioner Rules of Procedure referred from Policies and Procedures Committee. Did we get through those, Kyle?
Yeah, this is one of those things that we worked on for a while, and then we got caught up in ARP and other meetings, and just sort of sat around. And I think the effort today is to pass what we already worked on. There may be additional things that need to be done, but we have a new board coming in. They have the power and authority to set their rules as long as they go through the process. A lot of these changes, as I think members of the committee remember, were suggestions from the county clerk to update. There are a few that are just to confirm things that have already been our practice, or in fact, at least one case where there's already been a motion that passed. We're just putting it now into the bylaws.
Right, and probably it's also worth commenting, especially for the future board, that it's also includes, at the beginning of the year, when we go through this process, we solicited all of our board members. If they have any changes or proposed changes or concerns or questions, so there were a few things in here that we got input from board members as well. And, it needs to be a living, breathing document that serves the board to facilitate their duties. So I think.
But I moved the changes so we can complete what we've done to this point.
Okay, we have a motion and support. All in favor, signify saying aye.
Aye.
All the same sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
23-24 biennial budget update ongoing through adoption.
Mr. Chairman, we have to take Andy. C.
Oh, see, we,
Yep.
well, got ahead of ourselves with that.
I'll make the motion to appoint him. That's what we have to do.
Yep. Sure.
Got a motion
Any
and support.
EMAC board.
We'll put Andy on EMAC board.
Yep.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All the same sign. Andy, you're back on the board.
Thank you.
Who's this Andy guy?
One other thing.
Lieutenant Inkster, I'm sorry.
Sorry. I've been called worse.
Mr. Chairman, one other thing under administration, if I could ask.
Wait a minute, is it on the agenda?
No, but it's, I think, important to the agenda, if you wouldn't mind, just making a question of administration based on the comment that was made earlier.
What comment?
Broadband and
I
the
didn't know we
survey.
talked about that yet. Were we?
Well, it's not on the agenda, but I thought it would be good if administration could update us on how we're coming.
Why don't
on
we
that
stick to the
survey.
agenda? For a change. I mean, we can turn a meeting into a 24-hour conversation. We're talking about a 23 and 24 biannual budget update ongoing through the adoption, which is actually December the 1st, correct? Jackie, you did all this work for us.
I did.
Do you have any comments for us on this?
I updated pursuant to our meetings last week, and it's there for you to review. We are going to publish it mid-November, if it's all set, if you guys all agree with all my numbers there. And adopt it December 1st is the calendar.
Are there any questions for the chief financial officer, for Jackie? So we'll just continue to recess the meeting until the 1st
That is my understanding, yes,
of December.
December 1st.
Something to do with the resignation from Bob. After we did the something.
What do you got?
The resignation from Bob, what do you talk about? I'd like to address it. Yeah.
What is this?
That's the first end of the year.
The board seen it?
No.
You want to read it?
Yes, I would like to, please.
You're talking
Ronnie's doing
to
something.
This is a letter from Bobby Catalunis, who was appointed by this board. The ME she's been on the advisory board. She's been on, I think, everything there is on the seniors, to do with the seniors. She's dedicated, she knows everything, and she's not afraid to speak up. But she is resigning, and I would like to read her letter here. Lapeer County Commissioners, I'm writing to inform you of my resignation from my position as board member for the Valley Area Agency on Aging. At this stage in my life, I will only be donating my time to our local Lapeer Senior Center. My last day with the committee is December 31st, 2022. I apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. I thoroughly enjoyed my time on the board and always kept Lapeer County as my top priority. I wish the committee members the best, and I look forward to seeing the exciting programs and initiatives the board creates for us seniors in the future. Best regards, Bonnie L. Catalunis. And I understand, and it's in Bonnie's best interest, I'm sure, in order to resign from having to go over to Flint and or 2 or 3 votes over there from the board. But she's been an asset beyond words. And I'm very proud to say she's in my district, and I've always appointed her. And if anybody else has anything to add.
Oh, I do have to ditto what her efforts are, so we appreciate your time. You've done a great job to the service of the community, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bonnie, for all the time you spent.
She's been on the board for what, 16 years or longer?
I think I've been on the Valley Board since 2012. Been on the Senior Programs Board though for a long time.
That's another position the new board will have to fill, that is BAAA.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Public time, this brings us down to the second public time. Would anybody like to address the board during the second public time? Hearing and seeing no one, I'll close the second public time. Got any reason for any closed session, Quentin?
No.
Well, then I need a motion to recess.
Actually, the clerk pointed out that we only need to recess the full boards, the 2 weeks we don't have to.
You can adjourn this? Okay. I need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for attending.
Looks like we should be able to get personnel done if we
Yeah,
start very shortly.
you should make it.
Thank you.
Isn't that better?
Yeah.